Hello guys, this is Petram Raufi from Gerchik Co and you're watching the markets review for today. Today is Friday, the last day for traders of stock market and forex market, but we are going to check the situation of the whole financial market, and of course we are going to uh, make a review of cryptocurrency market at the end of the program. So don't forget to watch this video till the end. And we're going to start from the news background. News background is kind of empty. Situation is continuing with inflation, with war, with energy crisis, and with food crisis, which have been started lately. And there's some maybe new three interesting news about which you can say. All of them are related to the Central Bank of Japan, Great Britain, and Switzerland. There is some changing in the monetary policy of the Japanese bank and Switzerland bank, which could be more pro-tightening the monetary policy, pro-hiking the interest rates. So there is some suspicion about Japanese yen and Swiss franc that they could maybe start to strengthen against the United States dollar in the near future. There is some suspicion about the United States stock market, about which many analysts nowadays are telling that the recession is not going to be that harsh, but it's going to be, and it's going to happen, but it's not going to be that harsh, and it's not going to be that sharp, the stock market recession, or the economy recession, as we say. The next moment is about the British bank that actually have already hiked the interest rates to 0.75, if I don't make mistake. Well, it have already hiked the interest rate about to 0.25%. So British pound is going to actually a little bit strengthening as well. So here's the situation of today stock market. Consumer sector is kind of green for now, and actually we can say the healthcare a little bit green. But what is this situation for now? It's a situation of an of a retest, of a new retest or a new update of local minimums. So from previous time, if you remember, we told you that we have a really big gaps on the S&P 500 index, which would mean that prices have to reverse, and they are going to reverse. But what we said about the risks of this situation, we said that prices before get reversed, they could make some speculative movements, which means that prices could actually get to 3,600. They are actually yet haven't get to this level, but they could get to it. So they could actually retest this level, 3,600. And as we said from previous time, that speculations and the probability of the speculations still exist on the market. So here's the situation with the S&P 500. Except all of these gaps, except all of the signals of reversal, we now having renewing of local minimums. We're now having the new breakthrough of local minimum, and as we said from previous time, the risk zone is to 3,600. So this level mainly is going to get retested, and the lowering amplitude, which is really low in daily chart, is really controlled, is really not changing anyway, but in 4-hour chart is kind of low. It would mean that maybe during the day, during nearest sessions, we are going to have some correctional upward movement. So if these upward movements are going to be really impulsive, and if we won't get strengthened above 3,800 in nearest sessions, it would mean that during today's session and from the next week, there's a suspicion that prices could actually get lower during the next week. But But I think that here speculative movement with some speculative movements could actually happen, which would mean that prices could actually open from the next week are above 4,000 or 3,800. Actually, for now, there is no reason, there is no fundamental reason for that, but technically, this reason could actually appear on the markets. And Dow Jones Industrial Index. As well, here we have a really big gaps and lowering of the amplitude. $30,000 have been retested already. Prices are now retesting this very important psychological level. And from previous time, I told you that actually there is a risk, there's a probability of prices to retest this level. But lower than this level, I said that prices are not going to get and they're not going to fall. So there's a probability here as well that prices really could open. So the markets could open from Monday in a real big plus, which would be as well really speculative plus. And all of this kind of things, when market is kind of opening higher or lower after some weekends, it would mean that that was the speculation of the regulator. And this would mean that regulator is kind of actually taking into his own hands the market action, the market price action, and actually a Federal Reserve System and mainly the economic system of the United States is not really pro lower prices of the stock market indexes. They are not really pro that. So they are going to do everything to just save stock markets at first, then to fight with inflation. Don't forget about this factor because nowadays most analysts are telling that Federal Reserve System and economy have to fight the inflation first. But mostly in their minds, the main thing, the basic, the most basic and fundamental thing is to not to let the stock markets to fall. Is a really important thing for them for nowadays. So I really cannot even for now believe in a really sharp downward movement or a sharp falling of the prices. So there's a prediction that I just believe in it. I think the prices of S&P 500 from next week they are going to open higher and they're going to open with a gap or with an impulse from 3,800, from 4,000 or something like that. And for Dow Jones, it could be about 32,000 maybe, 33,000. So there is such a things in which I believe, and we have to actually wait for it to see how prices are going to show themselves, how prices are going to act. Here Nasdaq is really conservative, moving really conservatively. Amplitude is really low. Pay attention on the daily graphic, the daily chart, sorry, which is now retesting a really historical important level of 10,800 or 11,000 as we say, which is a round number. There is some sign of convergence here on the daily chart. On the daily chart of S&P and Dow Jones, there would be convergence as well, which is a signal for reversal. So don't think that we can say that we have to believe in this moment that prices from next week are going to strengthen. But what kind of speculation we are going to have from the what kind of speculation we're going to have during the weekend. So prices are going to open lower, prices are going to open higher. I think the prices are going to open higher, but there would be a suspicion that prices actually could open lower, which would be better for the reversal actually, if the prices speculatively open lower. So here, if prices from Monday open, for example, the market opens higher than today's minimums, this would mean that prices in the next week are going to make some consolidational movement at least. And they are not going to really strengthen that much, or they're going to just make some speculative strengthening, and then they're going to actually fall further. But if prices open lower today's prices from Monday, for the stock market, this would mean that mostly there would be a reversal and there would be a really moderate upward movement which would continue during the week. So for Nasdaq, it's really important to continue the strengthening above 12,000. Before we get to the XY, I actually have to check the economy calendar, so get into Forex pairs. But as you know, today's Friday, and I'm not going to check it because we checked it previous time. And the situation with dollar prices. From previous time, if you remember, we had already retested the target level 106. And as we see, we had a divergence signal, we had a divergence pattern here between the oscillator and the local maximums, which told us that prices actually are going to fall down. But would this falling continue lower than 102? I don't think so. Maybe prices are going to just consolidate around 102, 101, and then they're going to strengthen again. But there is a really important thing to know, that prices are going to retest 102. They're going to consolidate. But if they don't, if they don't get above, if they don't get strengthened above 104 in some days, within some days after retesting 102, this would mean that prices mostly are going to continue the downward movement. So don't forget that the range of 102 and 104 is really important. So when we get into this range nearing nearest sessions, we have to get it out of it within some days, at least from Monday during Tuesday. We have to get out of it. It's better to get strengthened above it, strengthened above 104. If this kind of scenario won't happen, that this would mean that prices of dollar are ready for downward movement, for reversal, and they are going to actually get into a reversal trend. So they actually get into a reversal tendency during next week. So the range 100 to 104 and how it get retested, how prices are going to strengthen above it or stuck under it. This would actually show what kind of scenario we would have next. Euro to dollar prices. We are going to check the main forex pairs, which are which we use mostly actually. Here on the 4-hour chart, we have a impulsive retest of a local mirror level, and that's not a really good sign. Prices are showing that actually they kind of stuck under this level, but just pay attention if the consolidation would continue here. So the consolidation here would continue. After this consolidation movement, there is a probability of further prices strengthening. So today is going to be Friday. After 2 days, the weekends will finish, and from Monday, situation would be a little bit speculative. So 1.04 is a main support, under which if we open, this won't be a really good sign. Under 1.05 actually as well, that's not a really good sign to open. So we need Monday to open a little bit higher. If Monday opens a little bit higher, this would be a better sign. So this is a situation with euro. Euro for today could be really get into a consolidative get into a consolidational movement. Euro actually could get into a consolidational movement and could continue to consolidate. So 1.04, 1.06, there would be a channel inside which euro could consolidate in the near future. The pound prices to USD. Impulsive retest of a local mirror level. That's not a good thing. 1.24 is a level under which we have to actually sell. So prices are going to here as well. They're going to just consolidate and maybe they're going to fall further. But there would be good signal if we open higher than 1.24 from Monday. So there would be some chances for prices to get higher or fly higher. Australian dollar to United States dollar. Here we have, unfortunately, we have some widening of volatility. which is not a really good sign, and it's actually happening around the psychological level of 0.7, and opening of Monday would really tell us what would go on with prices. If we get stuck under this level, this would be a really bad signal. I think that we could have some speculative upward movements today, but at least you have to pay attention that between 0.71 0.69 there is a range that we could have a consolidational movement, even maybe thinner corridor. It could be a really thin corridor inside which we're going to have a consolidational movement. Then dollar to United States dollar is moving actually the same impulsive retest and the return from the mirror level. Here we have 0.64, 0.64, 0.63 are the levels we are inside which we are. It's a range inside which we're moving. So consolidational movement could actually continue inside this range as well. Next, we go through the energy market. We're going to see what's going to go on with oil prices, gas prices. So oil prices have been reversed from a local support here. It actually fell down to 112 and now it's reversing. That's a really great reverse. It means that prices are going to get higher. As you know, news background for oil is really positive. So we are going to have a deficit of oil in the future. And about that, many countries are now telling, for example, Russia is telling that about 10% of oil producing of this country and oil export is going to get disappear from the market. So there would be a really high deficit of oil during this year, during next year. About this, actually, OPEC members have been already told us. So have been told us, and this would mean that oil prices are kind of now getting just strengthened, and the prices are going to rise further. But 120 is a really important level. So we could get a really thin movement here. We could have a really low amplitude or a shrink volatility while we are going to retest 120. And we could get consolidated after the retest of 120. So pay attention, after the retest of 120, we are going to face some corrective downward maybe movements or some consolidative movements, after which prices are getting into the main upward phase again. And with the natural gas situation, prices have been actually retested the target level about which we told you, $7.57. $7.50, $7 have been retested. So it was these levels were our previous targets. In the previous program, we told you that there is some targets which correctively could get retested, in some correctional phase. So we are going to have some correction, and prices could actually retest 7, but not lower. They are going to retest 7.57, but they are not going to go lower. So we actually told you about this. And now, after this kind of speculation, we could get ready for prices to reverse and start to rise again. Why gas prices are falling? There is some reasons of it. As you know, the main exporter of gas to Europe, Russia, have shown, and its own statistics have shown that exports of Russian oil haven't increased, but actually haven't decreased, but actually increased during the war. So that's a kind of a really logical fact. And actually, Russia nowadays, even during the war, is kind of exporting oil through Ukraine. So there's some actually unsolved moments about gas, which is now telling that Europe within some 6 months, till the next winter, is going to actually finish its own gas reserves, which is not really good news, which means that Europe is going to be a little bit under pressure and kind of depend on Russian gas. But As we know, United States program, United States plan was to ditch Europe from Russian gas, to just make Europe to buy gas from United States and oil as well. Um, is this plan working? I really don't know. But I don't think that news about this moments, about all of this, are going to be realistic. I don't think that news are going to be that much important because, as you know, during the war of Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine, from 2014, for example, we had a phenomenon of how we say um, reverse gas, which Russians actually exported to Europe from Ukraine. So there is no choices even during the war. They're going to continue to export gas, and as you see, sanctions are not going to be against the gas or against the gas exporter of Russia to Europe. But there is some years that Europe need to just ditch Russian gas. And I think that Russia is now giving all the reasons and all the reasons to Europe to just get ditched from Russian gas. So um, if the situation is going to be continued, Europe is going to actually continue to change the policy. Is going to continue to actually change the import. Its own importer to from Russia to the United States. But this is going to happen within some years, maybe. So, situation with gas is going to be continued. Gas is going to rise further, despite all of the statistics from Russia that the producing of gas is getting higher and higher. So the price is getting lower. The export is working. Exports nowadays are actually working from Russia to other countries. So they're the only main reasons why gas is not rising for now, but it's going to return to the main phase. So I think that 859 is our next targets after the reversal. We could have some speculative movements here. We could have some retest of 650 or 7, but pay attention, be sure this would be the last speculations. 650 or 7, they could get retested. But if they get retested impulsively, this would be a really great sign of the reversal. So what are we? What's next is United States dollar to Canadian dollar, which is a really great index between United States dollar prices to oil prices, because Canadian dollar, Mexican peso are really depend on oil prices. They have a straight correlation with oil prices. Now we see oil prices are kind of falling, dollar prices are kind of rising, and here this movement is not really great. It's kind of disappointing for the buyers of dollar and the sellers of oil. So the main thing about which we can say that prices are going to reverse from 1.30. We are just waiting for it. We are getting ready for it, and don't forget about the speculative movements. Speculations, bullish speculations, could actually continue to 1.3050, but actually we are going to close under 1.30, which would mean that prices are going to fall further from next week. And United States dollar to Mexican peso, which has a straight correlation with oil prices as well. Really harsh consolidation, really harsh consolidation here we have. And $20.20 is a range which is going to get retested in the near future. So is that a support? It could be a support. It could be a really good support, but don't forget the range $20.20 and $20. That's the main range. After the retest of which prices maybe could stop to fall further, because there would be some situation during which oil and dollar won't rise or fall, so they would consolidate on them. Next, we're going to go through the commodity prices analytics. So gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. We are going to palladium. We're going to check all of this. From previous time, we told you that 1,800 is a really important level, and we are going to retest it, and we are going to reverse from it. So, as we said from previous time, we actually retested the 1,800, we reversed from 1,800, and we're now continuing to rise. But here, consolidational movement is the main thing. From previous 2 weeks, from previous 3 weeks, we told you that prices of gold, prices of most commodities are getting near to a really important support. After the test of which they are not going to rise, they are not going to fall, they're just going to get into a consolidational frame. They're going to get into a consolidational uh, corridor. So as we see from 3 weeks ago, from 2 weeks ago, actually prices are continuing to move inside the corridor. They're continuing to consolidate. So in midterm, they're consolidating, and this consolidation is not going to finish. This consolidation is going to continue. So 1,880, 1,820 is borders of this consolidation, and each retest of the lowest parts and the highest parts of this corridor is going to get us a great return. It's going to get us a great reverse, after which we can actually get into the activate the limit buyings or limit sellings of our positions for gold. And next comes the silver. Silver prices. This consolidation is happening for silver as well. So $21 reversal, $21.22. I'm sorry. From 21 to 22, here's consolidational movement, and continuance would be somewhere between 2260, 2140. So 2140, 2260 are the next corridor inside which prices mainly are going to continue to move. The platinum prices here, consolidational as well, consolidational movement here as well, is continuing and is moving. So here we have $900, which have been retested, and as we see, reversal movement started from. Prices could actually rise to 980, 960, but after the test of 960, 980, we're going to have some consolidation. We're going to have some reversal downward, so don't forget about it. Next come PA, which is Palladium prices. Here we are under really important mirror level, 1,880, and higher we have 2,000. So 1,800 is a level which is going to maybe retest in the future, but don't forget that Palladium is an asset which is under sanctions. So Palladium really don't have to fall that much, and 1,800 could be the level above which you are going to strengthen further. So 1,800, 1,780 is going to be a range above which we actually have to buy, and then under which we have to sell. Next, we're going to check the United States dollar to the risk currencies. For example, JPY, CHF, Swiss franc are the risk currencies, or have a straight correlation with commodity prices like gold, silver, and they're kind of rising. The pair of United States dollar to JPY is rising now, and this rising is really impulsive. This is a speculative rising, and 134, 136 is a range of risk. So we are going to retest this range. We are not going to break it through. We are going to close under this range, and we are going to reverse and continue to fall from it. That's what is going on during these sessions and next week's sessions. United States dollar to Swiss franc. Swiss franc is more powerful than Japanese yen. So here we are not observing any kind of dollar prices upward movement. The speed we had it on United States dollar to JPY. Here actually prices are showing us that there would be some speculations. 0.98, 0.9750, let it be. This would be a great range, after the test of which, or under which, we can actually sell. Don't forget about any kind of risks. So here we have some a really impulsive downward movement. I agree. But next upward movement here is going to be really hard. It's going to be really moderate. Prices are going to, if they are going to rise, they're going to rise inside a really shrink channel. They're going to rise with a really high volatility shrinking, which is not really good for buyers. So I'm not pro buying this pair. I cannot be pro bullish trend for this chart, about this chart. Bitcoin prices and Ethereum prices. What happened to them? As you remember from previous time, we told you that prices are going to fall further, and downward movement is not going to finish on 20,000. Unfortunately, it's not going to finish on 15,000. There is a really big suspicion about Bitcoin nowadays. It means that prices are going to retest the local historical minimums. 7,000, 4,000, maybe 5,000 would be greater level. But don't forget that for today, we have a convergence here. We have a signal of a reversal. We could get into some tradings, for example, intraday tradings, and there would be some upward speculations here to 25,000, 27,000 during this weekend, during next week. And after that, we are going to continue the fall to 15,000, maybe to 10,000 as well. Ethereum prices here have to be the same. So 1,000 is a psychological level, which is now retesting. We have the convergence here, and don't forget that before we start to rise inside the corrective movement, inside the, I don't know, to just rise speculatively, before that we could have some speculative downward movements as well. So here we're mostly waiting for the continuation of downward movement to 800 to maybe 600, but before that we're going to have some speculative movements to 100, maybe 30, maybe 40. I'm sorry, 1,400, 1,300. And that was actually all about today's market, tomorrow's market for cryptocurrency. And of course, from the next week, we're going to see what's going on. So from next week, maybe situation is going to get a little bit balanced or worse. So situation with the stock market could really get worse or could get a little bit balanced from the opening of next week. This would give us a really great opportunity to renew the tradings. And we're going to talk about this next week from Tuesday. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe on this channel and ring the bell so you won't miss our online programs. Don't forget to check our official website of GerchikCo.com. There you can actually find different type of assets, instruments, and learning courses for beginners and experts, by the help of which you can actually optimize your working process. Till next time, have a great tradings. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.